Welcome to the Everyday Magic Podcast. I'm Anya Rock.
And I'm Dr. Sophia Trivena.
We've been best friends for 25 years, united by the belief that no matter what life throws at us, we can always find the magic. Join us every week as we dive into our most intimate conversations about sex, money, intuition, and building our company, Sofanya, a merger of our names and the best of us. Goddess, I forgot about a sacred ritual.
Which one?
The self-pleasure sacred ritual.
How did we have a whole episode on sacred ritual and not get into that? Okay,
Right.
I want to find out from you about your journey into your self-pleasure masturbation. That's what we're talking about, just to be very clear, your self-pleasure ritual, because I have a feeling it's changed greatly.
I wonder what's the word when you find the root of a word, like etymology of masturbation. Like, it's just a word that rubs me literally.
You don't say, goddess.
It rubs me the wrong way.
Well, I have to Google it now. Just 1 second.
Masturbation.
I think it's worth the moment that we say that our whole goal is to make Bradley blush every single episode. Okay.
My vagina doesn't like the word.
And you know that I can't do the word pussy.
We've talked about it, yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about it on camera, though.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth to say a moment, these words, right? Mm-hmm. You and I have very different stance on words that we use, and we respect each other's stances. Mm-hmm. And just like in our fashion.
It's as much a stance for me.
Isn't it?
I think it's
what does stance mean? And now we're getting into some real semantics.
I'm like putting my flag in the ground.
I
know you take stances.
Oh, I think you put a pussy flag in the ground pretty stance-like.
And I'm also very respectful of each client I work with has a different relationship to her body and the words, and like I would never push it being the word. It's just a word I claim and use. So I don't know if it's a stance.
To me, a stance is something. My stance on this does not mean I negate your stance.
Right.
No, it's just what I strongly feel.
Right.
I feel like you've strongly loved the word and the reclamation and the meaning of pussy as it's come into your life and how you stand for it.
Yeah.
It feels like a stance. And I greatly respect
have a stance,
it.
That feels like a stance.
I my stance is that as a stance. And for me, we've talked about this, is that I have no connection to naming a part of me separate than the whole. Mm-hmm. So anytime, I don't know if you do this, but every new lover, often we get in a conversation about what do you want to call your breasts, and I'm like, for me, it's breast. I don't want tits and boobs. Like that's not the sacredness of which I hold my body. But for some reason, any other part of me, I can't have a name. Like I feel like it's a separation of that part of me. What's that?
What are these?
As you wave around your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay,
on camera.
Okay, so for some. Fair. Okay, I'll call them fingers.
Okay. Just checking.
They don't feel sacred to me, and they're not part of the ritual that I'm enjoying with someone.
Yeah.
And I remember asking a man, like, what do you want to call that part, you? And they're like, actually, I like that, you. Like, I'd love to touch you. I'd love to go down on you. I'd love to explore you. I'd love to feel the hardness of you. I find that way better than any kind of other words that people use. And for me, it's also like, I'd love to taste you. I'd love to stroke you. It just feels like me, like the wholeness of me, the oneness of me in that sexual journey. So
beautiful.
Okay. So we got that stance. And I think we've discovered over the years that you like to reclaim words that other people have maybe demonized, et cetera. And I like to use word that feels like the essence of what I'm talking about with.
You like to find a new word.
I like to find a new word that seems most resonant with the meaning I have, that has no reclamation involved. Just our different ways. What are we looking up again?
Masturbation.
Right.
Speaking of finding new words or reclaiming them.
Masturbation.
I don't reclaim that word.
Right.
I find myself not using it. I prefer a pleasure practice.
Yeah.
And I prefer a pleasure ritual, actually. They're just creating a ritual out of it, not with a end goal, not a thing I'm supposed to like rub out and get done, another to-do list, another thing to check off, but actually as a moment the time I'm creating to be with my body,
Yes.
to be with my pussy, to be with my creative energy.
Sure. Yeah.
To tune in and to invite the erotic energy that is my aliveness to be awakened for the day.
Oh, I love this. And it's part of your morning journey, right?
I mean, sometimes at night, but preferably morning is a nice. And I have many pleasure rituals that I do through the day.
Share more. I'm putting the phone down.
No, tell me what the word means.
It appeared in Latin literature around the 16th century, and it means to handle or touch oneself in a sexual manner. Like literally, that's the origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I had a conversation with my kids the other day about it. Somehow we got into talking about it, to which my daughter, like, whatever I said, she was kind of aghast and also semi-approving of, like, Mom, you're a pleasure coach. Like, you're on Instagram talking about pleasure. It was just like, she follows me on Instagram. It's wonderful.
What does she think of it?
I think she thinks it's fine. I think she likes it. I think she likes to see me being in my full expression.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been times where she's like, Mom, please stop dancing around in your underwear on the internet. And I'm like, stop following me. Like, my friends follow you. I'm like, tell them to stop following me.
Yes.
And it was a hilarious conversation in our living room. And I asked my son, who's 11, like, what he knows about it and what does he call it. And there had been a birthday party that he was at where one of the boys brought porn. And so it became a conversation.
Amongst
two. Me and my children.
No way. I thought you were going to say the parents. Okay.
Well, yes, but also the three of us. And we were sitting there and I sort of said to them both, like, do you know why porn isn't good? And almost in unison, they were like, it's unrealistic.
That's actually fascinating.
I'm like, okay, people have already communicated this to you.
That's actually very cool. Very cool insight.
I think there's deeper understanding of what that means.
Yes.
Some of which, in the nuance of mothering, you just let go in the moment.
Sure. I think that's a pretty big leap.
Yeah.
Before I put my phone away, I just happened to notice that below my inquiry, there was another response that says the origin of the word orgasm. Curious, goddess?
Okay, yeah.
May I enlighten us?
You may.
Okay. From French, orgasme means excitement, swelling, to swell with moisture.
Yeah.
We were talking about the swelling of the Nile. Right?
Yeah.
And the nourishing and the abundance. So what happens with this swelling of sexual energy that begins in the start of the day for you? Because I think it's very unusual to start your day with a sexual self-pleasuring practice.
You do?
I do. Oh. I feel like people do that to put themselves to sleep or...
Oh, I do it to kind of awaken. And
See, my thing is sex as wellspring of life force for nourishment, not depletion. And
it's a chance for connection. It's a chance to energize. For me, I'm in a theoretical exploration right now, an experiment of life of if I increase my pleasure, if I let pleasure be the compass, if I increase my capacity for an experience of pleasure and erotic energy, I will magnetize more of the things I want into my life.
It's absolutely true. And it's directly related to the nervous system. Factually, when we really connect with ourselves, we're connecting, and connecting relaxes and unwinds the nervous system. And a lot of people think mindset then dictates what you bring into your life. Right. You know, I'm going to have a champion's mindset. I'm going to have a wealth mindset. This is really common, right? It's everywhere.
Mind over matter.
Right. And all the latest research shows it's not the mindset that creates the reality that you want or don't want. It's the nervous system. Because if the mind is saying, I can have a lot of wealth or I can actualize my dreams, but the nervous system is in a protective mode, it won't. Your system cannot be an energetic beacon in the metaphysics of the life to manifest the things you want unless your nervous system is willing to accept them.
Okay. Let's break that down.
Okay.
Because I feel like we've both been studying this, experiencing it, but let's break that down in terms of like, so let's talk about money, right? Sure. The thing that most people want more of, one of the things people want more of.
Yes.
And might have affirmations or things they're saying to themselves, a positive money mindset.
Right.
But somewhere in their body experience, they have a fear or scarcity about money.
Right.
underlying maybe even a story that says I'm not good with money, or I always run out of it.
Let's like make a list of all the things we've heard from our clients that we've helped them work through in terms of the mindset stuff, just as a quick list, because I've heard things like, if I have money, I'll be responsible for my parents. If I have money, I'm going to have to pay for my kids and when they go to university and be way more engaged in their education than I want to be. Right. Or if I have money, my kids are going to want it from me and they're not going to learn to work for themselves. I mean, these are the types of nuances I've seen that actually keep people from money.
But connected to that is a physiological response.
Yes.
That repels the money we actually want. Yes. Right? I think that's kind of what we're mining for here is the nervous system, meaning your body is you have an anxiety of a scarcity, you have a fear around actualizing what you say you want.
Absolutely. So you have a foot on the brake and on the gas at the same time.
Right.
It's a foot on the gas and the brake. And so it's like you can have a top layer money mindset of like, I want $1 million, but there's underlying layers that say, I don't want that because then I will have to, right? So that's one problem. The other thing is the mindset problem is that a lot of mindset training is about notions about what you want, not what's really on your soul plan or your soul path. It doesn't come with life force and expansiveness. So half of my clients in my early years, I was getting them to unhook from contrived money goals that they thought was what they deserved at this age for this amount of work. And I would say, you're actually not meant to be making that kind of money. And you focusing on it is going against your soul's plan, creating dissonance in the body, which is actually rejecting anything that could actually nourish you because you're so focused on this goal, you're not actually focused on the real goal, so you're not moving towards it.
Right. And the dissonance in the body, I think, is what we ignore.
Right. So there's those layers. Okay, but let's say that you actually have a mindset locked into a goal that is your soul's plan, right? And let's say that you've gotten rid of all your limiting beliefs, right? So I actually got clients to that place and still they weren't getting the money. I could ask their guides, are they focused on the right thing? Yes. Do they have any limiting beliefs or resistance or problems with it? Nope, cleared all of that. Why aren't they getting it? Even with all of that in alignment, if your nervous system isn't aligned to safety, it will not send out the beacon. So you can have like an arrow ready to go, but there's no bow, if that makes any sense, right? And so the interesting thing is that the nervous system is either in safety and expansiveness and is sending out an energetic beacon, attracting what you want, or it's feeling unsafe, it's collapsed, it's protective.
Fight or flight,
right? So the protective nervous system is in fight or flight. The manifesting nervous system is in a relaxed state. And how do you get yourself?
And some people call it the sympathetic, parasympathetic, right?
That's the medical terms.
Right.
Yep. Sure.
They might be familiar with that.
Sure.
And how do you experience the two differently?
Right. For me, over so many decades of my own work and working with so many people, I've really noticed there's some really easy signatures that may simplify it. One is if my shoulders are down versus back. Like, is my spine straight and my shoulders going back and the top of my head reaching for the sky? That's an indicator that my nervous system is relaxed. If I'm crunched and hunched and forward and collapsing, that's a bracing protective nervous system, right? That's one way. Another way is that you can actually turn your neck to the side, and just like wherever you're sitting right now, if you just turned your neck as far as it will go, you're going to see that your eyes stop somewhere, right? So like mine are 45 degrees and they stop on this plant, right? That's an indication of how relaxed your nervous system is. You can do a few techniques, different ones. We can talk about them if we want to, I'm not sure. But let's say you do this 1 minute technique to activate the vagus nerve or to do some really quick, rapid breathing that floods your brain with oxygen. Those two things create a more relaxed nervous system, proven. And then turn your neck and you'll see that your head can go further. And you've just taken your nervous system to a more expansive state that will literally attract you more money as long as what you're trying to attract is in line with your soul. And how do you know if something is aligned with your soul? Does it put your shoulders back and make your back straight? Like the nervous system and your desires are working together. So just focusing and feeling into that goal actually make your nervous system bright. or does it deplete it? And vice versa. If you hold that, if you're holding the nervous system and you hold that idea, does it keep you in that expansive state or collapse you again? And, doing that little test where you turn your head and see how far your neck will go, do a couple different exercises and do it again, would be like, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I've expanded my nervous system. And I feel like these would be some great sacred rituals for us to share as well. How about you? What do you do to regulate your nervous system?
The quickest way for me is movement.
Yes.
Go outside, take a walk, dance, put on dance break, put on music, breath. If I'm not somewhere where I can go for a walk.
Yeah.
Doing breath work, a quick little breathing exercise, a meditation, breath. Those are like the fastest ones for me, the most accessible.
Yep.
That get me into my body and get me into a more relaxed state.
And these
shift my energy.
These work for everyone. Like, so you and I both started therapy in the 90s. We're two of the first people in our girl crew to like go to therapy. You're the first person I ever heard to go to therapy. And then I started,
I made therapy cool.
Yeah. You basically put therapy on the map, really. So when we started in the 90s, and that's when the nervous system came on the scene in therapy and psychology and in scientific research as a thing. And over the last 30 years, it's developed. It was like the discovery of the vagus nerve being activated and putting you into that relaxed nervous system. So we've been on the journey of learning all the techniques along the way and then figuring out the ones that we like the best. And this breathwork thing, like when you're actually breathing in a way that's more rapid and more intense and more intentional, literally changes your whole physiology. And then the other ones are like the belly breathing, like anytime you're really extending your belly and letting it collapse and really extending your belly, another way of doing it. And then there's actual supplements, right? There's that, which is our nerve, getting into our nerve tonic, but you use our nerve tonic along with those things. You are setting yourself up for the most success because there is a benefit to having the building blocks inside of yourself to like lock your nervous system into that state that you want. It's better for sex too. Like, let's talk about this.
Good nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Relaxed nervous system. Sure.
Like how much sex
can you be
happens?
In connection when you're in anxiety? Think about how many men are struggling with like performance, which is the opposite of what we're actually looking for, but it's impossible. They're so in a dysregulated state in their mind that their bodies seem to not be cooperating.
Totally.
And yet it's that disconnection.
Yes.
Right? And women too, right? And again, it's just like we go away from connection. We go away from being in our bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I said before, put on a dance. It's the quickest way to get into your body, to move, to just be in pleasure before. I mean, I now think of going to a date being my responsibility to be in my turn on. Like, what can I do to get in my turn on in my body?
Right.
So I have the most chance of being in full connection with this person.
Okay, so this goes to another topic that's been showing up in my dating scene. Like when I was dating multiple people, what I was noticing, and it happened a few times, is that I have a really great connection with someone and they would be telling me, oh my God, you're actually my age. You're actually everything I wanted. Like I actually feel like a potential with you. And they had a hard time being aroused. They're like, you're so smoking hot. Everything about you is sexy, but I can't get hard, or I don't know how to turn this into a sexual journey. And one of them after our second date, I'm like, I think we're just friends, right? Like this feels like friendship. And I ended the journey, and I only found out later that he was devastated by this. And we got together maybe 2 months later for dinner. And he said, he asked me out for dinner again. He's like, let's just go as friends. But at that dinner, he confided that like, I was head over heels for you and I didn't know how to be aroused with you. And I sat with my friends. I love this idea of these 50-year-old men sitting around talking about this scenario and like what had happened and what this group of men had concluded. And he let me know about it.
Yeah, I love that actually.
Me too. Oh my God.
That.
Where's the everyday magic by two men?
Yeah.
I would love to see that. They're on the journey too. Yeah. And I actually just want to shout from the rooftops right now how much I love men. Like I celebrate men entirely, and their journeys are fascinating to me. But what he shared with me was that, you know, if a woman, and he's a really hot guy, and women throw themselves at him, and he's said, you know, I've been very blessed with incredible women all around me, and yet I choose you, whatever, right? but I can't stay hard for you, or I can't, like, whatever, right? And he said, I have this thing, I've realized that there's only been a few women that have evoked this in me of a potential partnership, and I instantly go into buddy mode. And then I actually went and did the research and is like, is this a thing? Because it was happening with a few people, and it is. So the research shows that the lust circuitry inside of you and the attachment circuitry, connection, security, safety, bonding are different circuits at conflict with each other.
Right. Or can be.
It's the natural default is to be more in conflict, especially if you've really nurtured one and not the other. So, for example, if you've mostly been watching porn and there's not an actual connection with it, it's more transactional and getting off and getting the reward hit, then you really strengthen that lust circuitry. And then you go to try to merge that with love circuitry, and they conflict. If you've been developing the two of them together the whole time, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I've never seen porn, and I've never used sex as a scratch the itch or even self-pleasuring. I do it as sacred ritual. I do it as nourishment. I do it with self-love and self-care when I do it with me. I don't do it with guilt or shame from religion because I don't have that. And when I'm with other people, no matter what it is, it needs to feel sacred, and we need to feel an emotional connection or I won't do it. So I've never separated those two. But if you've separated those two, it's hard to put them back together.
Sure.
Okay.
And in some theories about attachment and psychology, it's also if there's trauma or if there is a separation at a certain point as we're developing sexually, we can separate from where we find love versus where we find turn on.
Oh my goodness.
Which is why so many people end up in sexless marriages and having affairs, but they can't be sexual with the person they love so much.
That's right, because those got separated a long time ago. Right. And when that separation also links the sexual experience with shame, it gets buried even deeper. Right? Because, being married to you and be accepted by our church and community activates some circuitry, but the sex shame part and where the fulfillment comes because of how I was treated sexually when I was little is over here in the separate place. And those two things remain two separate worlds, and a lot of people have that. But with porn being so prominent, and it's actually like the primary sex education for young people, not just boys, but young people.
Have you seen this new course or app called OMG? Yes, I think it's called.
Yes.
We talked about this, right? And it's like they did studies and surveys of thousands of women and then created a course to educate women on pleasure.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Did you check it out?
I haven't got it yet, but a few people have sent it to me, and I think it's just like this movement toward understanding and finding other ways to share and educate each other about the ways we experience pleasure besides this one over here that's porn. Right.
I love this. And there's a whole bunch of, information that's really helpful. Like, a lot of people think the clit is just the part that's kind of protruding above the skin surface. That it actually runs along the labia inches on both sides. And just learning to stroke the entire length slowly to stimulate it rather than, I don't know, a lot of people are rough and fast. Yeah. And so instead, like, there's this notion of going slow to actually feel the sensation over the entire amount of that erotic zone, which many people not even touch it, nor do they know it exists.
For example, you know all about my pleasure mapping experience, right? So having gone through something where I was physically remapping the pleasure zones of my body and reconnecting the neural pathways of places in my labia or, in the inner wall that were numb or painful, remapping that to pleasure, really physically remapping.
This is so interesting because, like, women coming from sexless marriages, et cetera, can do that kind of thing where a pleasure partner or a practitioner yourself slowly traces your finger over all parts of your erogenous zones everywhere, really being conscious about the experience and what you like, and remaining in the places that are numb or dead to waken them again, right? But what do you do if you're a man and you're actually, there's a I don't know. I'm not a man. I don't know.
I would imagine there are practitioners who also work with men.
I would have to. So I wish this is where
sure.
we need the male equivalent of this show.
We'll call Peter and ask him. Peter will know.
Peter's the one that did the pleasure mapping with you.
He works with couples. He works with men.
Right. I'm really curious about that because I'm actually encountering men that really want to be with me and are incapable.
Let's make a course for them. The How to Be with Sophia and
the How to Be with Sophia, like and as a generic statement, not me specifically. If you can be with me, you can be with anyone.
Right. No, but I think it's again, in our love of men, it's, they're equally suffering in this.
Right.
And it's a disconnection.
And it's interesting, like, I actually don't know what to do with as a woman when I encounter that with a man who's looking in my eyes, who I can tell has incredible desire for me, but their equipment isn't participating. Right. And we've all been there. Yeah. I feel like everyone's been there. And
take the pressure off.
Clearly, you're just like, it's okay.
Right.
And if this was happening to me for some other reason, all of a sudden I didn't feel well and we couldn't continue, you wouldn't judge me or whatever. So I feel like that's the beautiful generosity and sweetness and grace of connecting, right? It's not like you have to perform this way or you're whatever. And I have never thought to ask for guidance about what's the best thing to do to move through that.
My instinct is it's something to do with the imagination and the mind. It's something to do with like breathing, being in your body. And then I think so much, at least I believe for many people, like, it's why things like erotica work, right? It's that we can be in our imagination. We can create anticipation. We can use all of our senses to tease out the erotic energy, to arouse, right? The word arouse is to bring up.
Okay, just stay with me for a second here. So we have lust circuitry and we have love and safety circuitry, right? And so I'm with a man who's feeling love and wants to.
Maybe we just have pleasure circuitry?
When you reconnect them, but someone that's been on a journey where they got disconnected from each other is looking at me having this challenge, right? So then,
like, I need to lust you, objectify you, or I can love you.
And want to be a partner with you. Right? Yeah. And so... Okay, so a few years ago, I dated someone a bit older, and I do find this is more chronic with older men because that's just more.
There's a blood flow issue sometimes.
And I will say this, okay, here's something I can say as an early 50s woman who's been with hundreds of men from many countries and cultures, is that the more time they've spent keeping those worlds of love and lust separate, the more chronic their blood flow problem is. And I don't know that the origin of the problem is the blood flow. I think the origin of the problem is the separating of these worlds that then translates into blood flow, because other men I've been with that, I think, that are older, maybe in their even early 60s, they're rock hard all the time, ready to go all the time, can go many, many times like a 20-year-old. And all of those men that I've met that are like that, they never separated worlds. They've always held sex and love together as one thing. They've been with beautiful partners they were into and kept sex alive every day. The men that I'm meeting in their 50s and 60s that are like, I had a sexless marriage for 10 years and I just had to take care of myself, they're the ones that are looking at me wanting to be with me and bring those two worlds back together. But the amount of time. So when people are like, oh, older men, they can't keep it up. And I'm like, no, it's older men that have spent many years keeping those two worlds apart that can't keep it up. That's my feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's your stance.
It's my stance. I don't know if it's a stance yet. It's still a theory.
We'll look for backup. We'll find an expert.
I just want to ask the angels if I'm right or wrong about this, like this theory. So what do I have right about what I'm saying? They're saying everything, 100%. What do I have wrong about it? 0, nothing. What else can we know about it? Oh. They're showing me what to do about it. Okay, so they're saying that you work together to reconnect the networks. And what I'm seeing is having this man, that's got the situation happening, looking him in the eye.
Penis episode we never knew was coming.
Is this going to be the headliner? Is it going to be the picture of me with my eyes closed, my hands in the air, talking to the angels with penis episode written across it? Has it come to this? Has that moment finally happened, Goddess? We knew it was going to happen one day. Is today the day?
Oh, maybe. Okay.
This is important information.
Right.
For women in their 50s dating men in their 60s.
Definitely.
This is chronic. Can be. Okay, so what I'm getting is I'm seeing me in front of this man, and I'm seeing him looking in my eyes, and, you know, the equipment's not working, and I'm seeing me like touch myself and having him have the visuals and the circuitry come on, and also saying words to him of love, like literally flooding him with both things at the same time, which is how the brain works. Like you want a dog to salivate when you ring a bell, you do them at the same time. So be really loving and let him just be in the love field and arouse him at the same time without his equipment needing to work. And I just get those circuits will reknit, and then it will start firing as a oneness again. You heard it here first.
Great. Will you be practicing that and letting us know how it goes?
I will let you know how it goes when that circumstance should arise.
Great.
It's not always. It's not always, or not arise. Should this happen again?
Yes.
I will see how this goes.
Great.
I'm going to ask the angels how long it will take. I mean,
get all the information you can.
Yeah, this is our opportunity. I can't believe I've been never asked about this.
I can't say it's been a chronic problem for me to be asking.
You haven't been with as many people.
Yeah,
when you get into just like a numbers game of hundreds, it's going to happen lots of times, especially if you're older.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What else do we need to know? How long does this last? That's what I was going to ask. How long does this last? They're saying you can have a lot of breakthrough in the first like 5 to 7 days, especially if you do it daily. It's a neuroplasticity thing. Like if you wait 2 weeks, your brain's not going to remember it. Just like learning a new language. Like
you just got yourself 5 to 7 days of intimacy,
daily
time.
Intimacy, a lot of self pleasure with someone watching.
That's hot.
That sounds
fun.
That's
a fantasy.
I'm all in. Yeah. Okay, I like where this is going. So 5 to 7 days every day, and if it can be 2 or 3 times a day, even better. They're literally saying it's a brain exercise. It's like if you want to grow this muscle, you have to do 12 reps 3 times. If you do 5 reps 1 time, it's not going to really do it. It's really reprogramming the brain's neural pathways. So they're saying if you can do 3 to 5 times a day for 1 to 5 minutes, in a week, you should almost be 100% there. That's fascinating.
So you're self-pleasuring, he's watching, you're speaking words of love to him.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
It does sound great. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm getting that he's just receiving.
Yeah. I think a lot of them think that's a beautiful practice.
He has nothing that he needs to do except witness and be in his own experience.
Right. That's also something, just giving, whether it's worshiping him or he's worshiping you.
Yeah.
To just say, like, I'd like to give you 15 minutes without any need to reciprocate or vice versa.
Absolutely.
I'd like to have 15 minutes of pleasure, whether that's tickling me with a feather or enjoying me in other ways without any promise of reciprocation, because so many of us are wired to reciprocate immediately, and then we do this dance in intimacy. Well,
we really lose the art of receiving, and the art of receiving is the relaxed nervous system. Like when you don't have to do, you get to be, and him just getting to be allows him to be in that relaxed nervous system. And as we know, when you're in that place, your whole system is sort of fluid to acclimate. Right. And not be locked in and guarded.
So the ability to receive pleasure then is also a way to reset our nervous system, to be in a more regulated nervous system.
And a more regulated nervous system attracts more wealth.
And it's not just wealth, more of
wealth
everything.
In all forms. Well, we can say, we can nourishment.
Abundance,
I say, wealth, and I always say, we talk about money and wealth. To me, they're all a oneness of energy.
Right.
So I should give that when I talk about sexual energy, when I talk about intuitive energy, when I talk about money flowing, all of them to me are the same thing. They're forms of energy that come, that basically nourish the experience of life. And is, if I need anything that I need, if my nervous system is relaxed, it's going to be a beacon for all of it, and it's going to come to me way more easily. So this is the direct link between sex and money.
Great.
Yeah. Well, that seems like
more
a good
sex,
place.
More money?
Yeah. More money, more sex?
More of everything.
Right. I think if you are getting yourself out of thin margins and you have thicker margins in your life and feel supported by money, It does relax your nervous system and you can surrender into sex more. And if you surrender into sex more and expand your nervous system and you contract more wealth, there really is like sex and money do really go together because they're really essential energies to this human experience.
More intimacy.
Yeah.
More sacred sex, more wealth.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I always feel like the wealth we talk about is soul-aligned wealth. It's not exploitive wealth. So the soul-aligned wealth and the soul-aligned sex are going to literally by studies, extend your life by a few years, create the best possibility of having your brain intact and being clear and present in older age. Like it literally fights Alzheimer's and that sort of thing. And it creates all the health markers, like your heart rate, all of the things.
More sex. The end.
If you take anything from this podcast episode, have more pleasure, have more sex.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes to that.
Yes, all the way.
Yes. Beautiful. All right, goddess. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go and enjoy
Have more sex.
an evening of endless pleasure, should it be from ourselves or others.
Right.
Let it be.
Let it be.
And
more
if it's
pleasure.
witnessed, even better.
True. Amplified by witnessed. Great. Thanks for being on the journey with us. We'd love to have you as part of the ongoing conversation. Join us on our socials at Sofanya Beauty and join our email community at sophanyabeauty.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.